Welcome back to another budget multi-tool review. Today we're going to be looking at the Swisstech. So, this tool is not available on Amazon. I could only find it on AliExpress, and so I wanted to take a look at it. I think there are some key differences between this version and the Ozark Trail Multiforce, although they are quite similar in design and probably made by the same OEM. So, my first experience, you guys can enjoy it with me. Let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so, okay, no real fanfare in here. Let's go ahead and pull it out. Is there anything else in this box? Oh, there is a sheath. Oh, that's cool. Take this part out. Get everything out of here. So, you guys may or may not have noticed, Swisstech is something that's being carried in Walmart stores. You're starting to start seeing versions, remakes of SOG tools made by Swisstech released through Walmart. I'm starting to see this crossover. I think Ozark Trail, Swisstech, I think they're all kind of in the same realm. It's hard to connect all the dots, but clearly they are being shared, at least in some designs. Now, this is pretty plain. There's really not much here. Nice sticker attachment here. But this looks, if not exactly the same as the Ozark Trail Multiforce. Now, I've said many times, this is probably the easiest budget multi-tool for me to currently recommend. It has a lot of things correct that are even wrong in the original Leatherman Wave. There's no place for pinching because all of the tools are on the opposite side. Diamond file, good quality scissors, all kinds of stuff. You know what? It's interesting. I thought this had Phillips. It actually is exactly the same. Cool. Now, there's one thing that might be different between these two. I want it to look right behind here. No, it's exactly the same. Okay, so this is cool. So basically, these are identical for all intents and purposes. Only this is plain steel, which honestly, I kind of like it a little bit better. The one thing I think is also different, did they keep... No, it's literally the same thing. It's no different whatsoever between this and the Multiforce. Yeah, there you go. This is exactly the same. It's literally just the same tool without all the markings. So, for those who are looking for a Multiforce that you can't get from Walmart, here you go. I will put a link down in the description and the pinned comment. No, we're not going to end it here. I'll go through the whole tool, don't worry. But yeah, that's, yeah, so everything there is also true. And as I say that, I noticed one key difference, an upgrade that I've seen also in the Byberries. This new scissor is actually going to have even more stability. You can see the difference in geometry. And I tested it on the Byberry. It's exactly the same OEM. Works phenomenally. Cuts right through Paracord, no problem. Cuts through almost everything I threw at it. And is actually better than the one on the Leatherman Wave, believe it or not. So, cool there. Wire stripper on the bottom of the bottle opener / can opener. You have a flat head right here. All the tools are going to lock. On that side, you can see the locking mechanism right here. On the other side, we have, of course, the reversible bit holder. These are ball detent bits, similar to what you will find in client screwdrivers. And you can buy these in a whole bunch of different varieties. They're pretty standard, but if you did want to use a standard hex bit, all you have to do is install a 1/4 inch round magnet in the bottom. Not only will you be able to keep being able to use this, you will also be able to use standard hex bits. I've done this in the past. It's a very, very simple thing. I even think they sell those magnets at Lowe's. And you can just, they have even like a little sticky pad, little piece of tape you pull off, and they stick right to the bottom. Very, very simple modification. So yeah, there's that. Has a pocket clip, the same as the Multiforce in the same orientation. A very smooth plier. Doesn't lock up when you squeeze it, which is good, meaning they didn't overpeen it. So this is actually in good shape. I never did test this particular Multiforce. Let me take a look and see. Nope, same thing. Nice and smooth. Very, very smooth. I'll say it now, I'll say it again. This is the superior model of clone when we're talking about all of the different genres, from the Byberries to, you know, all of the different types that have come out. I think the one with the hammer is quite unique, but the fact that all of the implements are on the opposite side from the plier head makes this superior in comfort even to the Leatherman Wave, because you're not going to have the kind of issues that will occur that result in a massive, like, blood blister in your hand. This is a common problem with things like the Leatherman Charge, Leatherman Surge, Leatherman Wave, because the outside of these longer implements come and hit together right at the wrong moment. Sliding off of something, they come together at speed when you're squeezing, and it's very, very, very painful. Now, on the outside, you have pretty standard setup. Diamond file, crosscut. How's the crosscut? That's usually what goes bad. This is actually decent. It's actually a decent crosscut, but none of these crosscuts have been great. They're not going to be as good as the Leatherman. And the other thing I want to test is how well they did the files. When they first came out with the Multiforce, this file had little ridges on the edge, which had to do with how they applied the diamonds, and it just wasn't flat, so it wasn't particularly useful as a diamond file. This one is quite flat, which is good. So at least the diamond file is solid. Now on this side we have the serrated blade. Actually, it's done pretty well, to be honest, and quite sharp. Liner locks for the outer implements. Then on the other side, how well is it? It deploys perfectly fine. Actually, I like the way they put these grooves. It is catching my fingers a little easier. So straight blade on the opposite side. And then of course we have a saw. And these saw teeth are definitely more aggressive. They're a little bit longer than the ones you will find on a Leatherman Wave. That does not mean they are better, however. When they're bigger like this, they're going to rip more than cut, especially if you're using it on wood that could fray and you don't want it to. It's not necessarily better to have larger teeth. Just something to keep in mind. And this is a pull saw. So there you go. That's that. This is quite... I don't know if I just missed it when I looked at the pictures. I swore it was different than the Multiforce. I could have sworn. But it appears that it is exactly the same. And has a decent sheath. It looks like a MOLLE-capable sheath, in fact. Yeah, so you could actually horizontally carry this thing by tucking this in under those two straps and then slot your belt in that way. I actually kind of like that. I kind of like that quite a bit. This tool being about, I think it's 9.8 ounces. Probably going to be the same for both. This is 9.8, so I'm assuming this is as well. It's borderline on that too heavy for the pocket system. Maybe not for you, but having a decent horizontal belt sheath, I find that those in particular, they kind of make the tool disappear. So if I put this in like so, close that all the way, yeah, that lays nice and flat with a nice little pull strap. You know, that's a nice little sheath. Honestly, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. I have to double check the prices. I will put it right here and a link to the AliExpress place where I got it. But yeah, if you're not in America right now and you want to know what it's like to have the Multiforce, it looks like this is an option. It is a 1-to-1. Maybe even a little bit better because of that scissor improvement. And it is an improvement. It's less flexible, so that's a good thing. Yeah. What more can I say? If this is your first, like, exposure these are clones that have been around for a few years now. They in some ways improve on the Leatherman Wave, such as having all the tools on the opposite side, using a full-size hex bit driver, the scissors actually perform better, etc., etc. Okay, these are common. It's starting to show up everywhere. They run under 40 bucks usually, between $30 and $40, $45, something like that. And this is yet another good example. In fact, if given the choice, I can now say that the Swisstech kind of takes the cake. Although one benefit to the two benefits to the Multiforce. If you're in America, you can use this for a little while, and if something goes wrong with it, because it does have a warranty from Ozark Trail, which is a Walmart brand, you can take this in and get a replacement right away. That's not something you can do easily with the Swisstech. And it comes with a sheath that has a bit extender. Now you might have to install a magnet in this one as well, but it is a pretty neat little extender. And I have to say, I kind of like the removable clip option versus kind of the one that stays on your belt. This one does go horizontal, so I think it kind of makes up for it a little bit. Hard to say. No, maybe it is a give and take. If you're in America, Ozark Trail all the way. But anywhere else, take a look for the Swisstech and see if you can find one, especially if it comes with this nice sheath. It's a great option. Gonna be a budget tool that is going to get you part of the way there, and in some ways I kind of like it better than the Wave. I hate to say it, but at this point enough people have tried it and used it and abused it and still found them continuing to function. So yeah, pretty solid option for budget, anything under 50 bucks. And considering that overseas you might find the Wave for like 150 euros plus, this might be a third of that price. Yeah, it's hard sell to go with the Wave over something like this. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you as always for your time, and we'll talk again soon.